Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Argo Sports Insider. I'm your host Will Kennedy. On the program here we like to shine the light on our athletic department here at the University of West Florida in Pensacola, Florida. We've got a jam-packed episode for you this time. We're going to get to baseball, softball, volleyball, football, spring practice wrapping up, tennis, golf, swimming and diving, just about everything we've got on offer here during the spring. We'll start off talking about baseball and Coach Mike Jeffcoat and his team. Since we talked to you last, they have gone on a nice little run. A sweep of Mississippi College, a midweek win over Spring Hill College, and then taking 2 of 3 on the road, which is kind of a rarity to have a road series at Auburn Montgomery. We had a chance to catch up with the team. They're 14-5 now and talk to Coach Jeffcoat and Cullen O'Shea, who's ripping the cover off the ball. Coach, you guys are coming off going up and playing at Auburn Montgomery, get another series win, and I know that's what you're trying to do, just pick those up one at a time.
Yeah, and as I mentioned during the last interview, I thought it was going to be our toughest test to date, certainly being on the road for the first time and this team. And that AUM had a very solid team, and they did. And they did Marty Leverage does a great job. They're tough to strike out, even though Floyd did an amazing job striking out 8 and working around 4 walks. I think 4 of his 6 innings he let the lead off on, and then he bared it down and struck some guys out. But they put the ball in play, they put the pressure on you, and our guys responded.
In this shortened season where the games have a little bit more importance, I mean, you're not having a ton of midweek stuff, but how's everybody holding up physically?
Yeah, well, that was part of why I was so proud of the team this weekend. We had Miller Hancock had to come out of the second game on Saturday with cramps. Adam and Wally's been battling a cramp and hamstring issue and pulled him out. So plugging in Kyle DeMore and Sam Harris and those guys doing the job, holding them defensively and moving runners over. We got Wozniak out because Dunham was out this weekend, and Wozniak was in left field playing and came up with a couple big hits. So really a total team effort. What we keep talking to the guys about is making sure you're ready from the bench and picking guys up when guys are down, whether it be COVID or injuries or whatever. So, we got a couple guys banged up, but overall the team is coming back better than we probably were 2-3 weeks ago.
The spoon goes to the Dogs this weekend. You got Bark at the Park weekend. You get a chance to come back home and play Christian Brothers. What do you expect from them?
Yeah, well, Christian Brothers, is down in the bottom of the standings right now. But as I always say, they're always beating somebody. In the last 2 weekends, they put a W on the board. I think the first game of the series. So they're going to come out playing with nothing to lose, and we have to continue trying to stay in the process of what we try to do and what our standard of trying to play at. Obviously, that's easier said than done sometimes. I like the maturity of this team. We just can't get complacent. We got to respect them, and hopefully we can play well.
Well, let's talk a little bit about kind of coming off the series, going on the road today. You haven't been a while since you guys have been out on the road.
Right. Yeah, it was first road series, so we played, 16 straight at home or something like that. So, it was different. First game started out kind of slow, hadn't been on the road, but we picked it up the second day.
What about for you? How are you feeling as far as swinging the bat, kind of where you are at this point in the season?
I've been feeling pretty good at the plate. Our hitting coach has done a great job with making us stay pretty level and not trying to get down on yourself, stuff like that. So I feel good at the plate right now.
Back at home for Christian Brothers, it's Bark at the Park, so you'll have dogs running around
Absolutely.
and everything. How special is that kind of weekend?
That's kind of cool. So I got a dog that's going to be there, so it's going to be fun to see a little different scenery. More people probably hopefully be there, so that'll be fun.
The Argos are up to 13th in the latest collegiate baseball poll and heading their way towards number 1, we hope. They've got Christian Brothers coming in, Bark at the Park weekend, the 20th and the 21st, and then they'll be on the road at Valdosta. That'll be a tough series up in Georgia coming up as well. Coming up here next on the program, it's time to talk a little softball. We'll talk to Coach Ashley McLean next on Argo Sports Insider.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Penn Air Federal Credit Union, Jenny King, Hill Kelly Dodge, High Point Hotel Group, and the Florida Lottery.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider. Time to talk some softball, and since we last saw you, the softball team here at the University of West Florida has gone on a nice little run as well. They had a home sweep of Mississippi College. and then had a split of a doubleheader. Finally got some games in with Spring Hill. That was on the road over in Mobile. And then they went up to Auburn Montgomery, took 2 of 3 from a very tough Warhawks team. We had the opportunity to talk to Coach Ashley McLean and Courtney McClellan, who really pounded that softball on the road at Montgomery. You guys had a chance, Coach, to get out on the road, which is unusual. It's been a lot of home games recently, but you go up to Auburn Montgomery against a good team.
We did. AUM is very good, and it was a very hard-fought weekend for us, and I was very happy with how the girls performed. Obviously, you want to walk away with the sweep, but taking 2 out of 3 of the series you can't complain about that.
Schedule gets a little all over the place. It's been weather that's gotten us, and so no midweek game. That has to get moved around. You've got Christian Brothers coming in. Nice to be back at home. It's Bark in the Park weekend, and you got a ton of other stuff going on.
We do. We're going to celebrate our 2020 seniors. They're coming back in town with their families, and then we're doing a ring ceremony for our 2019 team. Since our season got canceled last year, we get to celebrate them finally. So we're excited. We're excited that all the dogs are going to be at the park, and I think our team is just ready to take on Christian Brothers.
You look up, the season's flying by. It's a shortened season, less games than you would normally play. Where does your team stand? Coach's assessment at this point is we're kind of moving into the later part of the season already.
Quite honestly, our pitching has just developed even stronger and stronger, and that's what you want. You want your pitching to be at the top at the end of the season. Our bats are coming along. They started out strong, and they're continuing to be strong. And I think just bringing the whole team together, keeping that energy, we're just climbing that mountain that you always want to reach. So I think we're in a good standing right now.
Well, let's kind of talk about, you guys are coming off the road, go up to Auburn Montgomery, and I think you're going to get everybody's best shot at this point of the season because of how good this program is. What was the experience up at Auburn Montgomery over the weekend?
It was great, obviously, to come in there and they're undefeated, and for us to take 2 from them, that was great. And we talked about energy. We really brought it those 3 games, all 3 of them. So it was really cool to be a part of that, and just hearing your dugout cheer for you, whether you're on the field or you're hitting, or even if you're in there cheering with them. It was really great to just be in there and feel the energy.
Expectations are high for this program, and that's the way I'm sure that you guys wanted. Kind of assess where you are as we move into it's a shortened season.
Yep, it's been great though. I mean, we're just trying to make the most out of what it is. This week we were supposed to have a doubleheader, and we're not having that anymore. So you really just don't want to take the games for granted.
How about for you, swinging the bat a little bit? I know that you're looking for certain pitches. You're looking to do damage and drive the ball, and it's working out.
I've hit a couple, three home runs. I don't even know. You'd have to tell me that. But I did hit one this past weekend. It was an Oppo home run, so that was really great. And Tila, she came up and she slapped an Oppo home run, which slapping is even crazier. But just look for your pitch and drive it. That's what we've been working on at practice, and that's what we've been.
West Florida softball is now 15-7 on the season. Hard to believe we played that many games. They will have Christian Brothers in the 20th and the 21st as well. Bark at the Park again. Bring your dogs out to the park. Keep them on a leash, but we've got treats for them, all that kind of good stuff. And we welcome you and our pet-friendly environment for that. And then they'll be on the road too at Valdosta for a road series up in Georgia. Looking forward to that. Coming up here next on the program, we're going to talk a little spring football. We've had the spring game. And football's a little different this spring as opposed to springs in the past. We'll have a chance to talk to Coach Pete Shinnick and his crew next on Argo Sports Insider.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Institute for those who move.
Welcome back into the program. I'm your host, Will Kennedy. Time to talk a little football. This spring has been very different for the University of West Florida football program. By the way, still the defending national champions from 2019. We did not have a fall season in 2020, so this spring is kind of operating a little bit more like a fall practice schedule. The University of West Florida Argonauts have had a lot of chances to go against each other. They've done a joint practice with Albany State. They'll do one with Florida A&M University coming up over in Tallahassee. But we did have a chance last Saturday to have our spring scrimmage, and we got a chance to talk to Coach Pete Shinnick and several of the players after the game. Coach, spring game scrimmage is always kind of a fun time. The competitiveness really shows up from your team, and they get after each other.
They do, and it was fun. We drafted the teams on Wednesday, and really once the teams were set, a lot of great back and forth between them. But I felt like the level of play was really good on both sides. I think Austin Reed became the difference in the thing, and he's a pretty good quarterback.
What did you see outside of Austin that you liked from your groups today?
Well, I liked our O-line. I thought they handled things for the most part well. Our running backs, I think, have been solid pretty much the entire spring, and we're rotating a few guys through. So, I feel Jabir Fry, Shamari Mason, Anthony Johnson, Seth Johnson, Alex Noble, those 5 guys, they all ran hard. And that's something we've been looking for. I think when you look at defense, I think you saw, Shea Campbell play very well. I think you saw Marcus Clayton play very well. DeAnthony Bell, we had him in red, but I think he was always in the right position. I think he was always in a place he needed to be. Matt Gotel continues to be a presence on our D-line. So, a lot of positives and a lot of growth and a lot of learning that will take place.
You guys are certainly competitive with each other, let alone with other teams. What was today like? You drafted teams to get into this. I know both sides really wanted to win.
Yeah, they talked a lot going into it. We were pretty humble about it, and I think it showed. They were really confident coming into it, and I think we shut them up.
The eternal battle of who's better, offense or defense. I know it's always back and forth. You guys are talking to each other. I heard a lot of talk about the defense being really good here. What's the situation?
Defense is probably the best defense we'll ever see the whole entire year, and that's a great thing. We practice against those guys, but all across the board, they have no weak links, so they're a great defense.
Test the performance today. Both sides of the ball, blue and green.
It's wonderful to get at each other a little bit and see where we're at so we can be ready for the fall, honestly. And I feel like on both sides of the ball did very well today, and we still have some things we need to clean up, but all to all, a collective, we're going to be great.
Looking forward to getting back on the field at Blue Wahoo Stadium in the fall of 2021, and we will have a schedule release coming up for Argo Nation out there here in the next couple days, so look for that on goargos.com and across all our social media. Right now, 5 home games scheduled for Blue Wahoo Stadium and a great road schedule as well, including playing at Division I McNeese State and a trip to Texas A&M Commerce for a rematch of that 2017 championship game that unfortunately we came up just a little short in. We're going to have a spring football special coming your way as well. We'll dive into things a little deeper with Coach Shinnick and his crew. Look for that on Cox Sports TV, Your View Sports, and right here on the UWF Sports Network as well. Coming up here next on the program, we're going to focus on one of our graduate assistants. We have great GAs across all our athletic programs. We're going to shine the light on Zoe Harden with the UWF volleyball team, a blog that she started, and a great positive message that she's sending out into the world. That's next on Argo Sports Insider.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Hey Argo Nation, want to show your Argo pride but can't attend the game in person? We've got just the solution you're looking for. Argo fan crowd cutouts are making the move to the Fork and the Spoon for UWF baseball and softball games. Show your Argo spirit and support our student athletes. Want the whole family to join in on the fun? Your pets too? Cutouts are $30 each. If you purchase 3, the 4th is free, and donations go to support UWF athletics.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Baptist Healthcare and the Andrews Institute, Publix, Whataburger, and CPC Office Technologies.
Welcome back into the program. We have so many great graduate assistants helping our athletic programs here across the board at the University of West Florida. We're going to focus on one of them now. Zoe Harden is the GA for volleyball. In her own right, Zoe was an All-American both on the court and academically at Harding University in Arkansas. The native of Amarillo, Texas, graduated with an undergraduate degree in nutrition and diabetes. She's pursuing a degree now in public health at the graduate level. She's also started a blog that really spreads a positive message about body image, healthy working out, and nutrition. We had a chance to sit down with Zoe and talk about that.
I played at a really good high school, won a state championship, went to state multiple times, so I had a good background and just grew up around volleyball. My sisters played, and then I went to college at Harding.
Zoe did more than just go to college at Harding. She was a two-time Great American Conference Player of the Year and an All-American for the Bison. Now she's a graduate assistant on Coach Melissa Walters' UWF staff, pursuing a degree in public health. Her playing days may be done, but Zoe still likes to spend time working out in the gym.
The difference is that essentially now there's no reason for me to work out. There's really not. I mean, other than the fact that I enjoy it and I just want to stay healthy. For your whole life, somebody tells you when to work out, when to be there, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and then all of a sudden when you're done, nobody tells you, nobody cares if you work out, honestly. And you're kind of on your own. And so when I finished, I didn't stop because I was like, if I stop, I don't know if I'll start again. And I'm afraid, I thought I would just gain 30 pounds in a week, but I have learned that's not right.
A lifetime of competitive athletics, strength and conditioning training, and struggling with healthy body image led Zoe to create her own blog.
So I named it Beneath the 6'3". I'm 6'3", that's where that came from. Well, kind of over quarantine, I went back home and I was going through journals that I kept in high school and college, but some of the stuff I had written, I was just kind of reading back, and it was kind of made me sad to read. That's how I used to think and feel. I found a document on my computer that was titled, I think I titled it Body Image 2018, and I read it and I remembered exactly where I was, when I wrote it, why I wrote it, and it was just about all the pressure and all the expectations and how athletes have to look a certain way, but society, social media wants you to look one way, and just how exhausting it was. And I literally Googled how to start a blog. I think it was at the end of June or July that I finally it's maybe I'll just see how this even works.
Harden started the Beneath the 6'3" website and has posted 16 blogs since last July. It's something she's still getting the hang of.
Well, when I first started, I was very nervous because I've journaled for a long time, but obviously no one sees that. And so it kind of just felt like I was just putting it online, and I didn't really know what other platform to share things on. So I just did a blog. My teammates they all said good things, but they were proud of me. And then my friends from home and my family was kind of maybe you should have told us some of this stuff. So sorry, Mom.
Zoe has a built-in audience with the West Florida volleyball team and a chance to help share her journey with the next generation.
A lot of them have told me they read it. One of them was oh, it's actually kind of funny. And I was well, thank you. You sound surprised, but thanks. They've talked about some of them with me. I did a podcast with KP for one of her classes on it, so that was cool. And then just I've shared I did a couple of presentations with them at the beginning of the year, just nutrition wise, and then this side of stuff. So even just to know that they're paying attention is rewarding. Sometimes I feel I'm just writing to myself, which is, it's fine. Me putting my struggle, what I'm going through or what I have gone through online kind of forces me to actually have to put it into action myself. I think I've grown a lot myself through it, and I'm hoping that at least a couple of people have as well.
ZoeHarden.com is the place that you can find Zoe's blog. Spread that love around a little bit. We always love to see our graduate assistants, our student athletes, and everyone here at the University of West Florida sending out those positive vibes. Volleyball not competing here in the spring, but they have been scrimmaging, taking on some great competition, and we'll look forward to them being back on the court here in the Fieldhouse in the fall of 2021. We got a ton to get in our last segment. We're going to talk about successes for our men's and women's tennis teams, men's and women's golf, and swimming and diving at the NCAA Division II National Championships. Keep it right here on Argo Sports Insider. Realm Apartments is a proud sponsor of the Argonauts. Realm is opening less than a mile from campus and is now leasing brand new apartments and townhouses for a fall 2021 opening. These apartments come fully furnished and rates include water, sewer, cable, Wi-Fi, and trash. Check out realmlife.com for more information. Go Argos!
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
It's time for our last segment here of Argo Sports Insider. We got a ton to get to. Let's start off talking tennis. University of West Florida men's and women's tennis teams were finally back on the home court here at the Ralph Skeeter Carson Tennis Complex. They had two home matches, a tough one against a really good Kaiser team in which both the men and the women came out on the short end of the stick, but they bounced back with some big wins over Xavier in a Sunday double men's and women's match. The men are currently ranked 5th in the nation in the latest poll, the women 6th. And after those big matches, we had a chance to catch up with a couple of our players to talk about where the team stands at this point and what's ahead. Well, let's talk, you guys have had your first home match, got another one coming up here, and always nice to get back on the court here at home.
Yeah, for sure. Playing home is way better than playing away. I mean, we have the support of everyone in the university. And I mean, we always like to win home. So,
kind of assess where the team is. I mean, you guys play some really tough competition always early in the season, and that's a good way to find out where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think the regular season is the most important part. For that, we know what we need to improve for the ending of the season, the regional, the conference, and the nationals. So I think we are in the good track for that.
For people who haven't maybe been out here to watch a match, I mean, it's really kind of a neat experience because it is individual matches and the doubles matches, but you guys are rooting each other on. I can hear you yelling to each other across courts and from different areas. It's a team effort.
Yeah, definitely. And usually people that watch tennis in the TV, they expect like it's a quiet sport and this kind of stuff, but in college it's all different. Like we support every time each other, and that's what makes it amazing atmosphere for us.
What's the ceiling for this team? What can this team achieve?
National championship for sure. I mean, our team have a lot of talent, and I'm sure if with a lot of practice and hard work, I mean, we have everything to be national champ this year.
You had a chance to go out and play in the Sunday match, and that was important for you, I think, the team to come back after the loss on Friday and get a win on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've been building a lot, and we all been playing really well and practicing really hard. We just have some girls that are a little bit sick and others that are recovering from big injuries. But I think on the next couple of weeks, we're all going to be 100%. And I'm really excited for that at the next games that we have.
I know practice isn't always the most fun thing in the world, but you got to stay ready because you don't ever really know when the opportunity is going to come. And you just mentioned sickness and injuries, and you got to be ready to step in when you need it.
Yeah, Sunday, for example, I learned that I was going to play, I think, 5 minutes before the match. I just had to be ready and warm up and stay focused in case I need to come in and play.
Good to test yourself as a team, as an individual player this early against really good competition. What does that help with?
Definitely our confidence, playing against a strong team and being able to perform well and beat them always makes us more confident, and that's very important as an athlete. You always need to be confident and be able to do what you got to do there.
Got some great home matches coming up here on the schedule as well. The men's and women's tennis teams will take on the University of Indianapolis. The men for UIndy are ranked 4th in the country. The women ranked number 1. So testing yourself against the best. The men also have a match against UT Tyler coming up at home on March 20th. Both men's and women's will play Spring Hill on the 20th as well. And then West Alabama comes in on the 23rd of March, and it's Montevallo on the 25th of March. So a bunch of home tennis at the complex just down the hill here coming your way. Time to turn our attention to the golf course now. The men's and women's teams here at the University of West Florida always in the contention in every tournament they play in, and also for national championships. We'll start with the women here. They kind of had a home-ish tournament down in Destin at the Emerald Coast Collegiate Classic. And the team finishes 5th overall, but how about Rania Taipale winning the individual medalist honors with some flair too, a little drama, late drama. She comes up with an eagle coming in to win the tournament. Several golfers finishing in the top 20 as well, so a great team finish, great individual effort by Rania. And we had a chance to talk to the winner and the winning coach after the tournament.
It was super fun to play with your own teammate. I was so happy to play with Solange. And we got to play all 54 holes together, and we just had a good mood. Like, we were so happy for each other's good shots, and we were clapping and giving fist pumps and everything. So we had a really good emotion and vibe in our group. I'm also really grateful for all the team cheering after the last putt. They were screaming from the other holes, and coaches being there with us and supporting us. It was unique.
Yeah, very proud of Rania. She played phenomenal from tee to green, and the biggest thing I see from Rania last year to this year is her just composure. Was she looked like a seasoned player, very mature in decision making. She had a positive attitude. If a ball didn't go the way that she had planned, it was just kind of well, I'm going to go play my ball now. And I think, that attitude obviously prevailed, and she made a fantastic up and down under pressure in the last hole to win the tournament.
The women's team ranked 13th in the country right now. They have 3 weeks coming up, just back-to-back-to-back play as they get kind of on that stretch run to finish up the season before getting into some postseason play. The men were at the Southeast Collegiate up in Georgia. They had a great opportunity to win that tournament as a team. They ended up finishing 2nd in that tournament. 3 Argo golfers finished in the top 20 in that tourney. They're going to take a week off before playing 2 tournaments to kind of wrap up the regular season before they get into postseason play. Coach Steve Fell and his team, obviously their goal always set high, and that is to win the national championship. So we'll look for more good things from the Argos there. And we can't forget about our Argos in the pool. The NCAA Swimming and Diving National Championships getting underway as we're recording this in Birmingham, Alabama. Argos well represented. Coach Phil Kraus, Coach Barbara Parker. 5 swimmers, 3 divers are going to be in action, and it is the best of the best from the Argo team. The swimmers include Esther Rosetto, Morgan Ayers, Yale Donnelly, Stephanie Marquardt, and Brooke Dorr swimming. The diving contingent, Kelsey DeJesus, the top diver in the competition for the conference championship, Justina Farrell and Daniela Reyes will be competing in the diving competition, both the 1 meter and the 3 meter board. So we'll keep an eye on that. GoArgos.com is your place to get the latest updates there across social media as well. Check out the swimming and diving social media pages and Go Argos. And keep an eye on the scheduling there, because you never know when weather is going to hit and all the testing that our athletes are currently doing. It's the place to get your latest scheduling. And don't forget about the Argo Armada app. It's a great way to keep up with all the student athletes here, the social media streams, the latest on what the scheduling is looking like, and then also you can kind of look at rosters and statistics and all that kind of stuff. We encourage you to add that to your phone. Easy download there, both with Apple and with your Android devices. We appreciate you watching. It's our pleasure to bring you everything that we have to offer here at the University of West Florida, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time right here on Argo Sports Insider.